Let's talk about expanding on the color palette inside of the style set in your Squarespace website. I know there's 5 colors in there, and it can seem pretty limiting, especially when you consider there's like 10 different themes inside of your site. Let me show you a couple things that I think will help you ideate how to expand on those for your own website. Um, it there's a lot you can do in there, and I'm not sure everybody always sees it as being as obvious as maybe I do. So I'm going to switch over to my browser window right now, and it's sort of mid mode right here. I'm editing. So let me show you how I got into this window. So I'd exit. So when you log into your Squarespace website, you may or may not know where this is, but all of these styles inside of this website are over here under this paintbrush. It says site styles. So I'll click that, and then you've got your fonts, your colors, your buttons, forms, miscellaneous. This colors, this is what we're going to be talking about here. And you can see the 5 that I mentioned are in there. Hit this arrow, and then you see listed here, it's going to show you these section names. So the color themes and the section names are, the color theme being used in each section, these flags are related. Let me show you what I mean. So these names may not make much sense. I'm not sure they have to. We have sort of the lightest set, lightest 1 and lightest 2. And you can see which ones are on this page and which ones are other color themes, meaning they're not on this page, which can be fixed. We can simply change which color theme is being used in the sections of a specific page, and even duplicate one a few times and change the color theme so we can make sure we're editing all of them, or at least previewing all of them. I'm going to show you that in just a minute. So for now, I want to focus on, we've got lightest 1, light 1, light 2, lightest 2. You see there's a theme there. You got the bright set, bright 1 and bright 2, the dark set, dark 1 and dark 2, and the darkest set, darkest 1 and darkest 2. Now, like I said, I don't know that the names make a lot of sense, but I think what a lot of people run into is that they only have 5 background colors, and the middle one, you probably wouldn't use this light blue very much here. And I'm moving my mouse to try and make it obvious which one I'm touching. And the flags I mentioned, you can see the page is in a version of edit mode, and it's showing you which color theme each section is using. So this is light 2. You can see this gray background, light 2, light 1, but it's the same background. And that's the issue we're going to talk about resolving today. Light 1 here, lightest 1 here. And you can see those 3 are represented here on this page, whereas these bottom ones are not represented on the page, which we can make an adjustment to. So I've got some colors on a window here that I want to have easy access to. Now I'm going to show you how I expand on these, but first I like to preview the colors to make sure they look great on the page. So I'm going to exit this, and now that we're in the page editor, we can take one of these and duplicate it and go with a different color theme. Maybe we'll go dark 1, dark 2 on this. You can see we got contrast issues. And we can do the same here. Let's duplicate this one and move it down on the site, so they're not all back to back in the same. Now, colors, we're going to go with darkest 1. Now you can see when I go back into the site styles, we have 5. Now we have lightest 1, light 2, dark 2, and darkest 2 on this page. And we can add all 10 of them if we wanted to. But for now, I want to get into editing, because when we see our palette and we have these 5 colors, it can feel pretty limiting. And you can easily change the color palette of the website by just choosing other color groupings, and you can see how it changes the site itself, and all of the themes change with it. And we can go back to some version of light blue or blue and orange. Doesn't really matter. We can always reset it. But in general, what we want to do is expand on this so we don't have 3 white backgrounds like you see here, 2 gray ones, 2 orange, 1 blue, and 2 black. So, and bright 2, like bright 1 being white and bright 2 being blue probably doesn't make a lot of sense. And the more monochromatic your theme is, probably the more true that is. But let's do a different thing. Here's what I like to start with. My white. I do not typically, unless it's a very corporate client, use pure FF. That's red, blue, green, white. I will instead use an off-white. I'm going to go with F5s, F5. And then my second color, I want to make a purple. Whoa, that's ugly. Work with me a minute here. I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. We have a dark gray. Actually, I changed my mind. Let's go with white. We're going to go with a dark gray. I'm going to go with that purple color here in the third position, because this third position is really important. When you create a new section, it becomes the default background color. And now here I want to put my off-white. And the reason why I'm doing this is because, well, I want to be able to see this based on this example, but also what I have is a set of secondary colors. So we don't have to use, because you will almost never use this purple color as a background color for a section. I'll show you what I'm talking about. It's going to be loud. Like super loud. Bright 2, like I said, screaming loud. So if this was the brand and we wanted to say expand on this with a series of secondary colors in the brand, then we have a lot of options to go with here. We can pick lightest, and lightest will stay white backgrounds. Even though I don't want to keep this purple color for the text here. I'll fix that in a minute. We'll go with a gray. But what we want to go with is a different pattern here. So we don't have just white and the gray, the purple and the black as our background colors. Especially since we have some contrast issues. You see this dark 2, this purple text on that gray background and the purple text on the black background is absolutely not working. I'm sure that will fail, compliance with accessibility as well. Instead, let's go with lightest will stay white. And then with light, which doesn't feel as light as lightest, section background here, we'll go with custom color. And I'll go with a medium gray there. So now we have another background color. And our other light, which is that first gray, is okay. But what if we had a different background color still? Because technically, you get 10 background colors here with these sections. So we're opening up a world of possibilities. So we did lightest, light, let's do bright, and we'll actually go with bright colors. Section background, I've got an orange that is super bright, but looks cool with that black. And then the other bright, which doesn't need to be white because our lightest 1 and lightest 2 use white background. With this other bright, let's go with the nice RGB. Oh, hex. We'll go with a nice pink. And certainly can't keep. Oops. I clicked one time too far. So now we have a pink, orange, yellow, and I'm going to change dark 1 to a custom background color of blue. Nice blue color. So there are use cases for 2 background colors to use, like say on darkest, for those to both be black. But I don't want to keep that purple text. So let's pull forward for our headlines. We'll go to hex, our yellow color that we used in that other background. And I will put this in all of the header texts color sets so that now we have yellow on black. And we could have black on orange. White on orange works, but probably needs to be pretty big. We're absolutely not going to want that purple on top of that yellow because it's going to dance in our eyes because it is too low a contrast. But we can go with a cool orange, and then when we go bold, that's going to look super cool. Now this pink, on the yellow, on the pink, we're going to go with blue. Almost done here. You'll see what I'm talking about. I'm not doing all of them because really I'm not going to penalize you and make you sit and watch me do every single one of these, but I might want to put pink headlines on this dark gray. That'll be totally retro. And it's the heading large, by the way, is the one that changes it in that thumbnail up above. You see how I put this color in and it changed? So now you'll be able to see when you see these color thumbnails. So now we have a lot more background color options than we've had in the past. So when we go in and edit these pages to use different color backgrounds, if we were to say heading 2 for this text and heading 2 for this text, and move that. And change this background theme to our pink because we haven't used that one yet, right? And then change this background color to our yellow. And change this background color. We use the orange. We haven't really used the blue. Starts with a sketch. You could even make the text blue. I know, I'm clicking like a million things here so it matches this section. Now we're using a lot more color. And if that's, part of the brand standard is to use all of these colors because you have a primary palette and a secondary palette, then this is how you start to work those colors into these backgrounds and start building the different type color sets on top of those block colors. So if you're facing a brand that has just a million colors in the brand guidebook and you're wondering, how do I get all those colors into that brand, into that Squarespace website? That's how you do it. That's how you change, and you can have like 10 different combos. It's actually a lot. And honestly, what we were just banging on is probably more colorful than is necessary. That website will probably end up being really difficult to read. But I hope this helped, and I hope this helps you get some ideas around how to build and manage a deeper set of color themes inside of Squarespace. And if this was helpful, please like and subscribe and leave a comment, and I will do other videos about going deeper because there's so much more. I just didn't want this to be a half hour long. There's more to do inside of the color themes in Squarespace than I covered here. This was just about background colors, but I appreciate you. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.